Namaste, it's the Spiritual Daywalker, hashtag Schrodinger's cards, with your tarot card reading for the next full moon phase from 12th of August until 27th of August. This full moon will be in Aquarius, so Gemini, this is double air for you, and it's probably, since Aquarius is the water bearer and it is moving into Pisces, you're going to realize something about your emotional system, right? And how you use emotions in your quest for truth and your skills of communication. So this is going to be interesting, where in the past you were always kind of semi-annoyed by your emotionality around topics that you you're putting a lot of effort in finding out the truth and communicating that truth, right? But when you are too emotional about it, people stop to listen, and that's a problem, right? However, your emotions are telling you a great deal about reality, so they are like a very, very important sense for you to get to that truth and, well, to have things to communicate, right? So you're going to realize the importance of emotions in the greater scheme of things, in the greater, not that you didn't realize that yet, but you're gonna realize something about how these emotions within you work, what they are tied to, right? And yeah, and feel real good about yourself in the end, probably. Let's see. That being said, talking about emotions and all, I don't do love readings. If love comes up in a reading, that is on you. But life is a self-fulfilling prophecy, and I don't want to project anything into your reality that is not supposed to be there just because I say so. It is a general reading, so if the message doesn't resonate with you, feel free to drop the message. If it does resonate with you, drop a comment, like and subscribe. Also, share to whomever might benefit from this reading style. Let's get into your reading. Gemini, this is going to be interesting. It's going to be a DNA spread, a little like a tree of life spread, with the energies balancing around the spirit coming into manifestation and back again. So just like that. Let's see, in the spot of the 0 is you and your Father of Wands. That is a beautiful energy to be in, especially if it's in the soul spot, because the soul, well, the Father of Wands can be a little overbearing in a sense, and over-controlling, like pretentious in a sense also, right? It's like, I got this is going to be fine. But in the soul spot, there is less of that, right? It is more you standing in your power and realizing what you bring to the table, being proud of that. So it's your pride, really, the pride of about who you are and how you work. So that's a beautiful energy to come from. Let's see how this manifests into your reality. In the spot of the 9, in the middle, there's a Son of Pentacles in reverse. So you're coming out of the, out of the cautiousness, being overly cautious. Because the Son of Pentacles, well, it can also be something that didn't exactly come to fruition yet. Because like something new you wanted to start and wanted to manifest in your reality that is still waiting to get traction, right? And coming from your Father of Wands, that means that you're kind of fed up with this and you just want to get things going, and that's you moving out of this energy of being very cautious into getting things done, getting things moving and starting things. That's cool. So there is that sense of pride and feeling capable again, and that's a decision of your soul, right? So you are already in that energy of like, okay, fuck that, I can do this, right? And I can, and whatever I'm gonna do, like even if I'd only use 10% of my wisdom, that's a lot more than most people put on the table in this. So you trusting yourself and being more decisive about how you want to go about things, and less overly cautious. Like you did your due diligence, you did the work, now put it to work, right? And that's what you're doing. Moving further into manifestation, there is the World card. There is you closing out a cycle. There is you, that's why that Son of Pentacles is in reverse, right? Because you need to close out something to start something new, and that is something very pivotal to close out here with that World in the manifestation. So that is very, very interesting. Now let's see how the experience works around this, right? So In the spot of the 1, there's a 4 of Pentacles. A 4 of Pentacles is a good starting point for an experience, right? It is you having funds available. And if not, resources at the very least. So you feeling very stable in whatever you're trying to accomplish here, right? So you did the work, you did your due diligence. It seems like you got it all under control. Now let's see how this control is balanced on the other hand. Well, Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Wheel of Fortune in reverse is, feeling a little pressured from the outside, right? So working with that 4 of Pentacles is like, yeah, you're trying to hold on to shit because it seems like the world wants to take it away from you, right? Which is not exactly the case, only if you believe it to be, right? So you're holding on to that 4 of Pentacles because that Wheel of Fortune is not exactly apparent yet. Like, time is working for you in a sense, but you feel like it's working against you. So that's why you are so cautious, right? It makes sense. It makes a shitload of sense. Now let's see what Spirit says about this. In the spot of the 3, that's the realization you're going to get from these energies balancing out within yourself, is the Hierophant in reverse. Well, that Hierophant, well, especially in this deck, with this being like a raven or a crow, right? The crow is something like the symbol for change. And in this deck, the Wild Unknown Pocket Tarot, that is, the crow is always like, this Hierophant is always popping up in reverse. So it's my card for bullshit advice, right? And value shifting, yeah. But with the values shifting, you realize that you've been working from a set of morals or an idea of how the world works that is kind of self-fulfilling, right? So as long as you think the world is working against you, with this Wheel of Fortune, it will be the case, right? And since this Hierophant is where this idea is coming from, that the world was working against you, while you're holding on to your shit so tightly with that 4 of Pentacles. It seems like it has been working out for you in the past, but now it's tough to reinvest and get something new going if you're still stuck in that mindset that like money is only there to run out, right? And you have to be like, or resources, whatever, that the world is kind of like a hostile place, right? And that's coming from a Hierophant in reverse, from a value system that needs changing, because it's gonna self-fulfill itself. Like, it's gonna fulfill itself. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So you're gonna question some belief systems you live by your probably entire life, or something you took on, right? We're trying to do things right, so you got some advice on how to do things right, and then you realize some of that advice is just, well, not exactly making things worse, but it's not making it better also. It keeps you in a cycle of trying to hold on to your shit, right? Instead of investing and multiplying it. So see how that works out. In the challenge coming into manifestation, what you're gonna learn through that experience on the inner level, there is, there's a lot of overthinking and stinking thinking, right? There is the 9 of Swords, and the 9 of Swords is not a very beautiful card in this deck. It's really like, worrying too much, right? Especially coming from the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, moving into a 9 of Swords. It's like you worrying a lot about like circumstances, right? About the outer world pressuring you into doing something. Let's see how this is balanced out. Well, there's the 3 of Swords. And it is in reverse in this deck, right? Yes, it is in reverse. So that is, well, you are very actively working with this idea. But probably also, like, since it's balancing on the other side with the 9 of Swords, this 3 of Swords means you're gonna get off that horse in a sense, right? You're moving out of that energy. The moment you realize the Hierophant was some bullshit advice, that's when you counter the stinking thinking with moving out of this feeling of being betrayed by the universe, this feeling of the universe working against you and taking shit away from you. So the moment you realize, well, this overthinking is getting me nowhere, and I'm only overthinking because I want to do shit right, but maybe the reason why I want to do shit right is rooted in some bad experience or some bad advice, right? And that is why this new venture here, the Son of Pentacles, right, this trying to manifest something new in your life is kind of delayed, because you still subconsciously don't believe that it can happen, or you think it takes a lot more work for it to happen. And guess what? If you think that, deeply rooted within yourself, then that's exactly what's going to happen, right? So work needs to be hard if you think it needs to be hard, right? And mistakes will be made. If you think mistakes are prone to be made, then it will happen, right? And that's that Hierophant in reverse, where you're like, maybe you should listen to your own advice more than to the advice of other people. And I know you love taking in information, right? But never forget, information, any sort of information, and we're talking from like a high metaphysical standpoint here, any sort of information is an option for you to opt into a narrative, right? So if you don't want to hold it for true, it doesn't have to be true for you. Depends on how you can detach yourself from that energy, from that logical system. Catch my drift? So we're going deep into metaphysics here, but that's exciting. Like, we're not living in an objective reality. That reality was objective is an illusion of this holographic reality, which is actually, working by synchronization, synchronizing different experiences with trying to uphold the illusion that it was objective. So in a sense it is, but it's intersubjective, right? We're all working on this together. So as long as you think and overthink that reality is working against you, it will, because that's just how reality works. It is kind of made up of our expectations of it, right? So you probably need to distance yourself from bullshit advice givers, right? And listen to your own intuition. Well, your own intuition will show in terms of thoughts, because you are mutable air, right? So your thoughts are a big part of you coming to terms with your intuition. Whatever intuition you have is going to transform into a thought instantly. So you need to realize stinking thinking and realize, Three of Swords in reverse, what mindsets are working against you and what mindsets are working for you, right? And if they make you stagnant, not taking risks, not trusting, and believing in fear, that is exactly the sort of mindset that you are going to come out of. Because remember, with all that stuff I'm saying, you are in the Father of Wands energy. And the Father of Wands, he's not going to fuck around with bullshit advice. The Father of Wands is like, well, are you trying to make me scared here? Like, what the fuck is this, right? So let's see, moving further into manifestation, you closing out a cycle. Never forget, this is beautiful what's happening here. And that there is Three of Swords and Nine of Swords in the middle only means that you're going to realize something about the way you think. You are air energy, so sword cards are your home, right? That is air energy. So you're going to realize something about how you work. And there's an Eight of Swords. And for a mutable air sign, an Eight of Swords is a beautiful card, right? Because coming out of Three of Swords into an Eight of Swords, that is like, okay, so now with all these thoughts here, let's work with it. That's an abundance of thoughts, but I know my way around thoughts. Like, I'm an air sign, and I'm Gemini, so I can weigh them, right? And that's exactly it. And in this particular deck, this Eight of Swords is like, it's a butterfly, right? It's a cocoon, or what's an English word for it? Let's say cocoon. And is coming out of this, right? It's a phase of growth. You coming from being very diligent, holding on to your shit, then realizing you gotta let go of some mindsets that are driving this, and coming into an Eight of Swords like a contemplation period of like, all right, so some of the thoughts are actually pulling me up into the spectrum of like more love, more trust, and some of the thoughts are actually pulling me down into the spectrum more fear and more, projecting more fear into your reality. And on the other hand, let's see, this Eight of Swords, how it's balanced out. You're coming from that Nine of Swords on this side into a Fool in reverse, just before the world is closed, right? Beautiful, beautiful. So you realize why this new beginning hasn't happened yet, because there is some stinking thinking that you need to get rid of for it to succeed. So the universe be like, wait a second, wait for it. There's a Three of Swords you need to get out of first so we can provide for you, right? But then you have to realize that the universe actually wants to provide for you, right? But you are the manifester. You are the one that has to believe that this can happen. So let's see in the spot of the Six, like the spiritual insight moving back into that Son of Pentacles in reverse is so Three of Cups in reverse. That's a card for communicating your feelings, but also community. And the 3 and the 6 right here around the 9, this one, this flux field of consciousness in a sense, is the Hierophant in reverse and the 3 of Cups in reverse. So it is bullshit advice by a community you can't actually be true to, because they're like, by moving out of a community, right? So you got to realize what influence in your reality is fanning that stinking thinking, is providing you with bullshit advice. They mean well, but they're actually coming from a mindset that is keeping you more in a fearful state of mind than in a trustful state of mind, right? That is a problem with the Fool. That is like, you have to trust that the universe will provide for you, so it can. Because if you don't think it can, well, its hands are tied. You are the manifester here. Problem is, if you are linked to logical systems, being people and like parts of society where these mindsets are actively lived, it's tough for you to detach from those mindsets that are rooted in fear. It's tough. You can do it though. You're a Gemini. You can wrap your head around this. The most important thing though is that you trust your own capacity of thinking, and not the overthinking part, but your own advice, right? Your capability of making a decision on your own. Not only like I don't exactly see intuition here in the cards, but you're coming from a sense of pride and self-trust with that Father of Wands, and then moving through your thoughts with the Nine of Swords, coming out of Three of Swords, moving into an Eight of Swords, right? So you're realizing that your own decision-making process probably is the best there is. You are a mutable air sign. You see all the sides, but try to see really all the sides, right? Your thoughts become reality, so you are learning how to entertain, what thoughts to entertain, and how to really make them work for you. And you're going to realize what parts of, like, what community is helping you to do that and what not. Like, you're gonna detach from bullshit advice, from that Hierophant in reverse. So you're closing out a cycle, like really getting rid of that stinking thinking so you can make the Fool work for you and finally flip that right side up. That is so, so beautiful. Gemini, your mind is a powerful weapon, sometimes against yourself, but you're learning how to use it and stop listening to people that actually don't, right? This is your turf, your domain, the swords, mind energy. use it wisely, and you can manifest anything you want or you believe that can be true into your reality. That's very beautiful, and it's a strong and a pivotal metamorphosis for you to learn how to use your greatest weapon, right? And I very much mean weapon in a, well, like a magic wand, right? So this is going to be cool. This is going to be very pivotal, and then you can finally set that full, like that new beginning, that new chapter of your life upright. It's going to be very beautiful. Gemini, if that resonated with you, drop a comment, like and subscribe, share to someone else that might benefit from this reading style. Check out daywalker-bali.com, where I'm going to put up the, like, slowly but surely, the new tarot deck framework I'm inventing, which can be very interesting, especially for air signs, right? That go deep into the truth of things and the nerdy metaphysics about stuff. So it's going to be nerdy, right? But it's going to be very freaking interesting, I tell you. So check that one out, and enjoy this coming to terms with your own energy and listening to yourself more. That's a beautiful, beautiful metamorphosis. Thank you, Gemini. I love you.